The wisdom of Proverbs then. We've discovered that it's to do with insight, it's to do with prudence, it's to do with discretion and discernment. It gives us guidance for practical living. But, what's the point of it? I suppose that most of us would prefer to be described as wise rather than being described as foolish, but what practical difference is it going to make to our lives? Throughout the book of Proverbs, the different writers describe wisdom and they use really striking imagery to present their arguments. And the main thing that emerges is that it's only by acquiring wisdom of this type, that a man or woman can live a life that is worthwhile. In chapter 8 of Proverbs, wisdom is compared to a beautiful woman, and all the benefits of embracing this beautiful woman are set out in that chapter. She calls out in the street, offering prudence to the simple and understanding to the foolish, in verse 5. She speaks truth, and she detests wickedness. Nothing anyone can desire can compare with her, in verse 11. She bestows wealth on those who love her, in verse 21, and she invites us to eat her food and drink the wine she has prepared and to walk in the way of understanding. In chapter 3, Solomon speaks of the value of wisdom. Blessed is the man who finds wisdom, the man who gains understanding, for she is more profitable than silver and yields better returns than gold. She is more precious than rubies. Nothing you desire can compare with her. Long life is in her right hand. In her left hand are riches and honor. Her ways are pleasant ways, and all her paths are peace. She is a tree of life to those who embrace her. Those who lay hold on her will be blessed. So the benefits there are pretty clear. Individuals who prize this kind of wisdom allow her to be the guiding light of establishing their values, their goals, their priorities, and how they should live on a daily basis. And as a result, they reap the benefits. A long and peaceful life, it says. A life that is characterized by truth and honesty. And unfortunately, a lot of Western culture, predominantly these days, is not characterized by these things. Western postmodern culture is increasingly superficial, it's increasingly self-obsessed, and it's increasingly focusing only on the short term. The emphasis is on image rather than substance. It's superficial. The emphasis is on personal self-realization rather than long-term character building. We're self-obsessed. The emphasis is on consumer spending and changing fashion as a way of defining our identity rather than on the development of a coherent personality. The emphasis is constantly on the short term and changes after changes after changes. And all of these have got corrosive effects on the mental and physical well-being of the millions of people who follow that lifestyle. Those who embrace wisdom, in contrast, can see the futility of that approach that looks for instant gratification without considering the consequences. So it's this emphasis that we have in our society of constant change, constant reinventing of ourselves, self-obsession, self-realization, that focuses constantly on the short term, that really is having a corrosive effect on our society and the way we regard other people. But the other point here that's important is the issue of truth. The woman wisdom in Proverbs speaks truth, she says. But truth, of course, has become another casualty in our postmodern society because truth has been personalized. Absolute truth is not allowed anymore. There's no absolute truth. There is your truth and there is my truth. Something may be true for me, but not true for you. And then in this swamp of relativism, virtually anything goes. It's up to us to set our own standards. It's up to us to develop our own values. It's up to us as individuals to develop our own truths. That is not the message of Proverbs. And a relative approach to truth, which is linked with this self-obsession and constantly changing identity, is a pretty deadly combination. Who are you today, Lady Gaga? Who will you be tomorrow? Can you continually keep on reinventing yourself? What are you becoming? Where are you going? And the wisdom of Proverbs warns against where our society is headed. Listen to what she has to say. I love those who love me, and those who seek me find me. With me are riches and honor, enduring wealth and prosperity. My fruit is better than fine gold. What I yield surpasses choice silver. I walk in the way of righteousness, along the paths of justice, bestowing wealth on those who love me and making their treasuries full. That's from Proverbs chapter 8. So these are some of the benefits of wisdom and show us why she should be pursued. In Proverbs 4, we read David's blunt words to his son Solomon, David being Solomon's father. Solomon, of course, was the son who was to succeed him as king of Israel. David says this: get wisdom, get understanding. Do not forget my words or swerve from them. Wisdom is supreme, therefore get wisdom. Though it cost you all you have, get understanding. That's from Proverbs chapter 4. But that's all very well. It's just one thing here. A lot of the advice here is good worldly wisdom. It's the kind of advice any father would give to his son. A sensible, a disciplined life is obviously going to increase its quality. But where does God fit into this? And the answer, of course, is that God is right at the heart of it. And that's what we're going to be thinking of in the next study.